Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with a quick comic haul. I've got all kinds of fun stuff. I've got some stuff from YouTube auction. I've got some stuff from just the interwebs. I've got an eBay win. And I've got my, I wouldn't call them pre-orders, but my modern books that I picked up. So let's take a look at those. So let's make me small and get to the haul. Look out! Yeah, that was a nice smooth one. It doesn't always happen that way. First off, I was participating in an auction. I don't know whose auction it was. I want to say maybe it was DS Comics auction, I think. And he had Comic Kid 84 on there, and as you all know, he's a little artist in our community. So he gave us this. So it says, "Yo, Bub, thanks for the purchase." That's Thor. Look at that. So thank you for that. And these are the books I picked up from him. I got Thor 137. It's the first appearance of Ulik. Everyone's looking for that first Ulik. So hot book. No, not that I'm aware of. I like these kinds of destroyed big Thor looking books. He looks tough in this one. I like the hammer front and center. I mean, it's, well, not center, but front anyway. So a lot of cool stuff going on in here. Great Kirby art. So I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. Then we had Miss Marvel number 11. Now, I'm not purposefully trying to pick up this run, but if I end up with it, I'm not going to be upset. I really like it. Anyway, I think it's really cool. I think she looks fantastic. What a great outfit. Look at that. Nice little newsy stand and all that good stuff. And let's see what else we got. Okay. And so, like that. And then next we had number 16. I love this cover. Now this is not Mystique's. This is the first appearance of Mystique in Cameo. So if you read the story and kind of follow along, as you know, Mystique is a shapeshifter. You know, major X-Men villain. Of course, until the movies got a hold of her and turned her into some sort of anti-hero slash hero. I don't know. I think they totally screwed up the character after the initial first few X-Men movies. Once Jennifer Lawrence came in, they ruined the character. And I think, to me, that marks the point when the entire franchise starts to go downhill, is the development of that character as anything other than a villain. It was terrible. But look at that cover. First of all, you gotta love octopus covers there, or squid covers. Shout out to my man Anton at Antonimo Bay. He's a big squid lover. Check that out. That is so cool. Nice little, what's his name? Tiger Shark, I think, in the background. Look at that. She's in peril. Very, very cool. Love it. Look at all the dynamic, like where the squid tentacles are moving around. It's Dave Cockrum and Terry Austin. And what's cool about this is that so it's Mystique and Cameo, so it's not actually, you never actually see the Mystique that we know in this book, but as the story progresses, I think it goes on to maybe number 18 or so, where it's revealed that one of the characters in here was Mystique. So that's kind of where this book goes. So it really is a first appearance cameo, even though I don't really care for that term. I think you can't be a cameo unless you're already an established character. So this is more of a first appearance reveal, I guess. So anyway, here's another one of the main books. So this is the main book I was after in that little auction. So glad to have that. And then also, man, the camera's acting bad. So this one, Doc Savage, Man of Bronze number 1. For what I paid for the lot, I was about even for the books that I wanted. And that's how I like to do it. So when I'm buying books in lots, which I do not prefer, I prefer to buy books separately, but every now and then, you know, a seller will put them in lots. So when I'm buying a book in a lot, I try to only price it by the books that I care about, because I don't want to have to go through the process of reselling and getting rid of the books that I don't really want. So the books, in order to make my money back, in order for it to be a good deal, or for it to be an even deal. So these are the two books I wanted, and when I put the price of these two books together in the condition that I could tell that they were in, or try to tell that they were in, then to me that was worth the price for those two books. So getting the Thor book was extra. getting the sketch is super extra. And then I'll show the next couple of books, which I don't particularly care about. They didn't even make it into Mylars, so which is rare. You only ever see Mylar on this channel. That's why the glare is always so great. Ah, look, you thought you had me. Amazing Adventures number 4. I don't know who does the cover. It looks like Perez, but I don't know. And look, it's got a little bit of acid eat through on there. So this was probably left in a in one of those like brown paper bag mailers for too long. So there you go, Inhumans and Black Widow. It's pretty cool. I don't know anything about this one, but it looks really, really silly. So that's number 7. It's got a little writing on there. I don't really care for that. So these 2 books, I'll probably move along to someone else who wants them more. Same thing goes for this King Size Annual Eternals 1. I don't think there's anything key about these books, but if there is, you can put it in the comments below. But otherwise, they're just moving on. All right. Now on to thanks Kenny for that, and thanks for the sketch. So that's gonna go up in my sketch area, so thank you for that. Next also we have actually, let me show this book first, because this is really something. This book was a book that I won in auction, and not on YouTube but on the internet, and I'll just show it. Airboy. You say, what? You already have an Airboy. Look, I pick up this book every time I see it for $5 or under. I buy this book. But this book I paid a little bit more than $5 for, because that is a killer Dave Stevens autograph. So I mentioned it, I think, in the No Faces chat when I won this book this week, or this past week now. But basically, when it comes to this signature, I've been trying to get this signature in a very specific way, and it's difficult to do. When it comes to Dave Stevens, he generally only signs on the interior of a book, and I intend to get this verified and slabbed, even though it has a COA. So I know it's real, but I still want to get it in a slab with a nice CBCS yellow label. It's going to look beautiful with all that yellow. It's really going to look nice. It's going to pop. But anyway, so I want it on the outside, because I think signed interior books that are slabbed just look silly to me. When it says signed by, I'm like, says who? So I'm not a fan of that. The other thing is that he generally personalizes almost everything he signed, it seems. It'll say like to Jim or to Susie, or sometimes to Jim and Susie. I'm like, dang, best wishes, Dave Stevens. Also, because he signed so much on the interior, this is his classic signature with the Dave Stevens, and the S kind of crosses over the D. But when he signs in the interior, a lot of times it's at the bottom or something, so he spreads it out as Dave Stevens just written straight across. So I wanted the classic S over the D signature, and I wanted it in this configuration without any kind of personalization and on the cover. And I challenge any of you Dave Stevens fans who's looking to pick up a signed book by him to go find one of those, because it's a rare thing to get his signature on the cover and in that format that I described. So that's a huge grail for me. I've been looking for Dave Stevens signature of this nature for a few years, and just have not been able to find a good affordable copy on a book that I liked. And this is probably my favorite Dave Stevens cover. It's definitely my favorite good girl art of Dave Stevens. I'd like to have his signature on a Rocketeer book, but I'm okay with that being on the interior. So as far as a cover, I couldn't have asked for a better one, and the signature is in a lot of times he just signed in pen, like straight up pen. So that would have got lost on here. So just everything about this book is absolutely perfect. It's the book I wanted. All right, so let's move on to my, I won't call them pre-orders, but my modern books that I've purchased. Here is Mars Attacks Red Sonja number 1. I haven't really seen anybody showing these off, but I mean, how could you pass that up? And then their Mike Piazza cover. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Good stuff. And this one I picked up. And again, I bought these online, so I didn't quite know if this is what I thought it was. But I thought that this had Red Sonja and the alien on there and the Martian on there. Because in the pre-orders, I remember seeing the photo of them together on the same cover. So I said, I wonder if it's 2 covers and they've split it up, you know, on a 1 and 2 or whatever. But then I checked all the other things. I couldn't find the image that I recalled. So I said, I bet that's a wraparound. And sure enough, it is. So here is the completed picture of that. And that's what I was after. And that looks fantastic, man. I love that. That's so fun. I love his little butt cheeks. It looks so silly. I think it's great. I don't know. I love it. I'm looking forward to this little series. I think it's a great little mashup. Can't wait to get further into it. So then I picked up this one, Joshua Middleton Wonder Woman. Just looked different. You know, you never see Wonder Woman really drawn that way and kind of realistic like this. So I mean, I know that Adam Hughes does some more realistic Wonder Woman covers, but his women almost all look the same. So it's nice to have a very distinctive looking Wonder Woman. I think she looks great. Joshua Middleton, killing it as always. And then the last one I got on my, I don't know what you call it, online order for Moderns. I didn't bother to go to the shop because I get so disappointed. Every time I go to the shop, I'm there for 4 books. They have 1. And then I get a bunch of stories about how I need to have a pull list. I'm like, whatever. So I hate when they tell me that I have to do something extra in order to walk into the shop and buy what I want. That tells me you're not stocking properly and you think everything should be on pull list. And I understand if that's what shops need to do in order to make a living and to be successful. But that means that I'm not participating in that. I'm going to take my business somewhere else for my weekly comics, for my Wednesday pulls. I'm going to take that somewhere else. Somewhere where I can just shop and not have to think 2 or 3 months in advance what I want to buy on a Wednesday 3 months from now. So here's the question: the Deaths of Vic Sage, number 4. So this is the last one in this series. So I'm not saying I'm excited for it to end, but I only read the first and second issue because I was waiting until the 4th one came out to make sure it came out. And then I'm going to buy, and I already bought number 3, so I'm going to read the rest of it and enjoy that. And I'm picking up these A covers because they all have a variation of the same cover. But I'm missing number 1. I'm missing the A cover to number 1. I picked up the Lemire B cover, which I like, but I would like them all to match. So I'm on the hunt for that. I don't see it in the wild, and I haven't really seen it affordably online. So still on the hunt. Now, Clayton Crain is coming to town, in my town, the same LCS I was just talking about. And so I'm trying to gather all the Kentucky YouTubers and comic people together for a little event. We're going to hang out and have a few wings and beers and you know, get some signatures. Hopefully the signing doesn't take 6-7 hours. But I know that Clayton Crain likes to talk, and he's very mellow, so he doesn't get in a hurry. So it's going to be a while. So we'll do that, and we'll have a good time, and I'll take him out to a couple of places to go hunting, that people that aren't familiar with the area. So I had been picking up these Clayton Crain books. I showed a few in my last haul, and I'm really excited to get them signed, but it's not the book that I wanted signed. Well, so I went ahead and I picked up the book I want to sign and found it for a great price, about half what it usually goes for. And this thing is cherry mint. And I'm not a near mint hunter, but this thing is beautiful. And since it is something I'm going to get slabbed and graded and verified, then why not? So look at that. Now there is going to be CGC on site, a representative on site that's going to take orders and stuff like that, and you can hand in your book there. But in my opinion, you should press every book you send to CGC. Just press them all. They're so used to seeing pressed books that when they see a book that's not like a freaking little piece of board, then they're like, oh, what is this? This is a 9.6, this is a 9.4. So I press everything before I send it in. And personally, right now, I like the CBCS cases and labels better than CGC. And that yellow label is going to look beautiful right across the top. So I'm going to get this signed in person, of course. Then I'm going to take it home. I'm going to press it and make sure that it looks nice and flat. Then I'm going to send it off to CBCS for a yellow label verified signature. So that's my goal with this book, and it's just for the PC. I love that cover. I've always wanted this book. This is a great example of waiting because this book was readily available when it first came out, and it was very expensive, and especially with this trade dress, one of the few times where the trade dress was worth more than the Virgin variant. And I don't like Virgin variants generally, but where they replicated the Hulk 181 trade dress, that made this book extra special and gave that extra extra spot there. So very cool. I can't wait to get this signed and get it labeled and throw it up on the wall. So that's going to be a fun one. And while I was buying that, the seller also had this book, which is another book that's a great story about waiting. Here's another book that was super hot for a while during the Aquaman movie coming out. And then not that movie bombed either. And that's a key point to me, because a lot of speculators or people want to talk about spec books, and they're like, oh, if that movie ends up being great, then that's gonna go, that book's gonna keep going up, and if the movie ends up being trash, then sell it. You know, I mean, this book, even though the character or the actress behind the character, I know there's some controversy about whatever, I don't really care about it, but to me, that movie was mediocre at best. It was up and down, and I think it really only gets love because it's being compared to so many other bad DC movies. So it's better than those, but that's not saying much. I thought that movie was largely a snooze fest, but this is a fantastic cover. Joshua Middleton Mira, I mean, he knocks it out of the park here. And again, this book was pretty hot for a long time, and it has since cooled off. And now it's a normal variant cover price. I mean, I think this book was like $10 shipped. So, and this book was going for way more than that before. And I don't know why, but the guy threw this in, maybe to say sorry. So what happened was, I was gonna buy this book, was for sale. I think it was $10 shipped with free shipping, right? And this book it was listed free shipping. This book had like $4 economy mail, like he was just gonna send it regular mail. So there's a seller on eBay, and so I said, I put both these books in my cart, and I checked out together, and then I sent him a message along with the checkout that said, please combine shipping and send it priority mail, or please ship priority mail. Well, he comes back to me like real quick with a message that's like, this will be shipped regular mail. I'm not shipping it priority. You know, this it'll be packed safe, and this is how it's coming. I'm like, wow. Like I've never got that kind of response over what I think is a total reasonable request, only because I'm already paying $4 or $5 for shipping on this book, and he's going to ship it snail mail, not even priority. And then that's why I was asking for priority. And then he worked in the shipping cost to this book, so there's another $3 or $4 there, because how much cheaper could you possibly ship it? He's probably going to ship that media mail. So you put those together and you got enough for priority, so why not, right? And so then he sends me, and then like 5 minutes later, I get another message that says, hey, just saw that you ordered 2 books. I'll go ahead and ship it priority. I'm like, thanks, you know? So I think because of all that, and he did ship it priority, and it came very quickly. So I think because of all that, he went ahead and threw in an extra book. So this is all new Wolverine number 31 with the variant cover, the homage. Look at that Hulk neck, though. Oh, man. You don't really see art that bad on my channel too often, but that's pretty rough. But it's kind of a cool idea, and if you hold it far enough away, it doesn't look too bad. So anyway, that's my haul. I hope y'all appreciated that. But I got to tell you, this is the book we're ending on right here. This was the big boy of this is the Grail. This is my Grail signature. They're not making these anymore. So glad to have it. Hope y'all can appreciate it as much as I do. We'll catch you next time on BUB'S Comics. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.